Hello and welcome to the Premier League predictions for this coming season. We're going to do 20th to 1st, and then we are going to do the Golden Boot, the Playmaker Award, and the Golden Glove Award. So I really hope you enjoy this video. Obviously, I do have a little bit of a bias, but you know, this is all just my personal opinion, and I don't mean to offend anyone by who I go with. Okay, so in 20th place, I have gone with Cardiff City. They've done amazing to be here. Warnock is a genius when it comes to promotions. He's won 8, I think. But he has been promoted several times into the Premier League, and it never has worked. Never has worked. The squad, I'm not sure if it's good enough. They've signed players, but all of them have come from the Championship. Smithies, Cunningham, Jacob Murphy. I just think they're going to really struggle. There's no hard feelings to Cardiff. I hope I can get down and go to the Cardiff City Stadium and watch one of the games at some point, because Cardiff isn't too far away from where I live. 19th, we have Watford Football Club. I just don't rate Javi Gracia, and I expect them to struggle. They didn't do much after Silva left. So when Silva, despite them being in a bit of turmoil, when Silva left, they didn't improve or, you know, if they'd have started off a season with Gracia, there's no way he'd have been there at the end, and I think they'd have probably gone down. So yeah, that's just my opinion. So 18th, unfortunately, we have Huddersfield Town, who have done amazing to be there. They did amazing to stay up, but I think this season will just be too much for them, unfortunately. David Wagner is an incredible manager, and if he got them out of it once again, I think, you know, that would be an amazing achievement. Whoever wins the league, you know, I always think to myself, if you keep Huddersfield Town up, you should be manager of the season. And that would have been the case for me last year if City wouldn't have, you know, stopped in the league like they did. 17th place, Bournemouth. They've been there for a while. Not overly impressed with their business. They've signed Rico, they've signed Jefferson Lerma, and they've also signed David Brooks. I expect them to be really involved in the relegation dogfight this season. I don't expect them to go down, but I think they'll be really struggling. 16th place, we have Newcastle United. So Newcastle have made a few signings, and there's so much turmoil at the club, and I think that will affect on the pitch. Will Rafa Benitez be there at the end of the season? We don't know, but it could be a very difficult season there. Into 15th place, we have Southampton. I expect Southampton to struggle once again. I really do, but I don't expect them to be relegated. I really think they'll be okay. I don't think that they'll be... I expect them to stay up more comfortably than they did last season. So last season they obviously survived on the final day. I don't expect that to be the problem this year. I mean, they've signed some players, and some of them could be good. I just don't think they're much better than they were before. But I think they've got plenty to stay up. 14th, we have the biggest movers, which is Burnley. At the time I put this, they haven't signed anyone. They obviously have signed a few players now. But my feelings are they weren't that brilliant. They did brilliantly to be there, but, you know, there wasn't much competition. It was the top 6 against. And they've signed Vidra. I'm not sure how much of a good signing he'll be. I expect Ben Gibson to be a really good signing. Joe Hart, I'm not sure on at this point. But the reason I put Burnley there is because I think they will struggle with the Thursday nights. If they go quite deep into the Europa League, they'll be playing Thursday, Sunday, and that's always a demographic that has really struggled. 13th place, we have the former mentioned Brighton. So Brighton have done a lot of transfer business. They've been one of the more busier teams. You know, they brought in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different players. They have been very busy indeed, and I've been quite impressed with their Bissouma, Jahanbach, I really like from what I've seen. I think Balogun on a free transfer could be a really, really good bit of business. I really like Chris Hughton. I think they have improved with those signings, and I expect them to stay away from the top 3. I don't expect them to be involved whatsoever. 12th place, we have Crystal Palace. So, Roy Hodgson is such a good manager when it comes to these situations. When it comes to the relegation battle, he got Crystal Palace out. They had no points after 7 games. No goals after 7 games. And he still managed to get them out. They have done a little bit of business here and there, Crystal Palace. But their main bit of business is keeping hold of Wilfried Zaha. So signed Max Meyer, that's a really good signing. The goalkeeper, Guaita, he looks a really good signing from what I've seen. Chekoete, he'll be a very, very, very good, squad player, so I expect them to be nowhere near the relegation zone this time. 11th place, we have the amazing Fulham, who were absolutely wonderful to watch last season, getting promoted from the Championship. They've signed very, very well. Jean-Michel Seri, Mitrovic, Alfie Mawson, Fabry, Marchand, Alex, Callum Chambers, and Andre Schürrle. What a great summer they have had, Fulham, and I expect them to be around mid-table. I don't expect them to be involved in the relegation scrap. I'm really looking forward to watching them play. I love Jukanovic. I'm glad he's got that opportunity to have a go, because obviously he got promoted with Watford and then they didn't renew his contract. So I'm glad he's got a chance. Some really good players. So I expect them to be fine and really, really have a wonderful season. Maybe shock a few. Maybe pick up the other surprise vote there. It's going to be interesting to see how Leicester get on, but they are my pick for 10th place. So Leicester have made several signings. They've signed Gazelle from Monaco. They signed Johnny Evans for £4 million. Danny Ward is back up to Kasper Schmeichel. Ricardo Pereira and James Maddison. Going out, they have unfortunately lost Riyad Mahrez, probably their best player. Ahmed Musa has gone, but he was out on loan anyway. They are actually made £5 million profit despite spending £80 million this summer. So I expect them to be fine. I think Puel is going to keep them around mid-table. I don't expect anything else than mid-table path. I don't expect anything else. Don't expect them to have a good run in the cups or anything like that. I just expect that. 9th place, we have Wolves, who were absolutely incredible last season, finishing champions in the Championship. Their business is also very impressive. Johnny Castro looks a very good signing. Rui Patricio, Raul Jimenez, and then they have Moutinho, and Adama Traore have all joined, and then they have made the permanent deals of Jota. They have Afobe, Willy Bolly, Leo Bonatini, Vinagre have all joined permanently. Obviously, Benek Afobe has now gone the other way and has moved to Stoke. Their business, I like the manager. They already have a good squad. They probably would have stayed up with that squad regardless. So I expect them to be in the top half. And I think a couple of good years they could be in Europe. So 8th place we have Everton. So Everton, under their new manager, they finally got Marco Silva, their man. That's who they wanted all along. So Everton have signed, as of recording, Richarlison for £40 million. And they've also signed Digne from Barcelona. I think by the time I get this video out, Bernard will be done, which will be a really, really good signing. They've lost a few players, but nobody they really needed. No one they needed at all. So Kevin Morales has gone back out on loan. Funes Mori has gone back to Villarreal, and David Klaassen has left for Werder Bremen. I expect them to be around, 8th place again. They would have been 7th place, but there is a reason why they're not. And 7th place is exactly where we're going next, and that will belong to West Ham. So West Ham have had a very, very interesting summer. They brought Manuel Pellegrini in, and they have gone, berserk in a transfer window, spending over £90 million. Their signings include Ryan Fredericks, Jack Wilshere, Fabian Balbuena, Lucas Fabianski, Andrei Yarmolenko, Issa Diop, and of course the big one, Felipe Anderson, who signed for around £40 million. I really like Manuel Pellegrini. He is a winner. He has won the Premier League. This is somebody that's managed Real Madrid as well. I expect him to bring the smiles to happiness back to West Ham in 7th place. That could be a European position, which I expect it to be. And I really, really do feel that they are going to have a successful season. So 6th place, unfortunately, is Arsenal. So Arsenal have improved leaps and bounds from where they were last season. Some of their business has been really good. Torreira, I really, really like. But Leno, they probably needed the goalkeeper. Socrates, they needed a centre-back. They needed somebody in that holding role. And if Torreira, as well as Torreira, they have Guendouzi, who's looked really good in pre-season. And they have also signed Stefan Lichtsteiner as well, a right-back. They needed cover there. And competition for Bellerin. I really like their business. However, I don't think, with all of those signings made, I still don't believe they are any better than the other 6 sides. So that is my reasoning. 5th place, we have Chelsea. So Chelsea, as of recording, are about to sign Kappa for a ridiculous amount of money, a world record fee for a goalkeeper. They've also signed Rob Green. But they've signed Jorginho as well. Going out, it looks like Thibaut Courtois is on his way out. So the reason why is a new style of play. And we've seen that really struggle sometimes. It took Pep Guardiola a long time to get it right. Crystal Palace, totally different set of circumstances. But at Crystal Palace, they had Tony Pulis, they had Sam, they had Ian Holloway. And that is a very defensive way of playing. If you look at Chelsea, before Mourinho, Conte, defensive way of playing. De Boer comes in, they really struggle. Totally different way of playing football. Obviously, it's a totally different, set of circumstances. Sarri, totally different way of playing. So I think it might take a few, maybe months, just to get everything how he wants it. As of recording, it is 12:45 Wednesday, August 8th. So that means I am going to not know what happens tomorrow. So they might go nuts in the transfer window. There's talk of Kovacic as well. But 5th place, Chelsea. 4th place, we have Tottenham. So I think their young squad will be better than last season under Pochettino, but I still expect them to be in the top 4. I don't think there's any problems there. They've signed really, really key players, Harry Kane being one of them, to long-term contracts, Davinson Sanchez being another. They haven't signed anyone yet, but I think they've got enough to finish in the top 4. There's no point signing players for the sake of it. There really isn't. It'll be interesting to see how they cope with their new stadium. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll still be in the top 4. 3rd place, we have Manchester United. So Manchester United, as of recording, have signed Lee Grant, Diego Dalot and Fred, leaving the club, Daley Blind. So I expect that these will not be as strong as Liverpool and Manchester City, but I expect them to grind out results the way Mourinho has. They haven't lost Pogba as of recording. They haven't lost Anthony Martial. I don't think they're much stronger. People are raving about Fred, but at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. People have come from Ukraine and done really well before, the likes of Willian, Fernandinho, and players have come from there and not done so well. So let's wait and see. So, 2nd place, will it be Liverpool? Will it be Manchester City? Of course, it's going to be Liverpool. They have made some really, really good signings. Alisson, Naby Keita, Bino. Xherdan Shaqiri, you know, 13 million, a really good backup, a really good player to have to call upon from the bench. They needed to make a better squad, and that is exactly what he has gone out and done today. This window, Jurgen Klopp, Fabinho, probably the replacement for Emre Can. Naby Keita, really good buy. That's been on the cards for a year. They needed a goalkeeper. They bought Alisson. They've gone out. They've done their business. 170 odd million spent. You know, that's really ambitious by the Liverpool board and by Jurgen Klopp. I don't think transfer fees really matter, and I've said that before. So, number 1, we have Manchester City to retain. I just think they've got too much here. Signed Riyad Mahrez, a really good player. They needed a winger. I'm not sure they needed one, but that's you know, a player that they've been targeting for a while. They've had a few goings out. We have Joe Hart and Angus Gunn both leaving for Premier League clubs. Yaya Toure has left and has not picked up anyone else. They've had a few players sign as well. Felipe Sanda has signed from Joao, and Claudio Gomez has signed as well, but they're like young players. Hopefully they get someone in before the end of the window in that Fernandinho position. They have Douglas Luiz, but they are by far the best team in the league. How many of Liverpool's squad get into that side? 2. You know, at the end of the day, which goalkeeper would you rather have? At the moment, you'd have Ederson. He's the Premier League proven one. A right back, you would have Kyle Walker. In at centre backs, you'd probably have Kompany or Otamendi, and then you would have Virgil van Dijk. A left back, you know, in a fit side, you'd have Mendy all day long. In midfield, I think you'd have the 3 of Man City, and then up front you would have Sane, Aguero, and probably Mo Salah. But having said all that, you know, they're still a fantastic side. I just think Man City have too much, and I think they will improve again under Pep. This is a young squad that is going to get better and better. It's very exciting. It'll be interesting to see how they do in Europe as well. But number 1, we have Manchester City. On to the Clean Sheet Award, the Golden Glove. I can't see past David De Gea. Simply the best goalkeeper in the Premier League and probably in the world. Didn't have a very good World Cup, but he still is a quality player. Assist, the Playmaker Award. You can't look past Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City win the league. Kevin De Bruyne should have the most assists. Golden Boot. You know, obviously Salah came out of nowhere to win it, but I think Harry Kane is, you know, going to score 30 goals. And, you know, unless somebody has an exceptional season such as Aubameyang or Aguero, Jesus, then, you know, unless somebody has an exceptionally good season, Harry Kane is almost guaranteed to win it. So that's my pick. So 20th we have Cardiff, 19th we have Watford, and Huddersfield are in 18th. Lower table to the high table, so outside the top 4 we have in order Bournemouth, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea. The top 4 is as follows: Spurs, Manchester United, Liverpool, and winners Manchester City. So what do you think? Do you agree with my predictions? Do you disagree? Where do you disagree? Has my hair been like that for the whole entire time? How embarrassing. But yeah, so I hope I didn't offend anyone with my predictions. They are just my feelings. Obviously, I have recorded this at the time of recording. So, you know, at the end of the day, things could potentially change. But if they do, you know, then I can't really explain that. But those are my predictions. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. You know, they're going to be covering so much football over the course of the season, so you will not want to miss out. Thanks for watching. My name's Mike, and I will see you soon.